It's still a little bit cold to go out painting. I've been tempted to, but picked up a little bit of a chest infection, and with the asthma, I have an emergency pack in the house, and I can just go on straight away with it and save seeing the doctor and catch it early. And so not so bad, but I just don't want a chance going out just yet, though the weather's been glorious this week, and I have been tempted. I'll be honest. I thought I'll just go down Surrey that way to the coast, but I've resisted that. And so I'm going to do a snow scene. Did one a while ago, and that came off okay. So I thought, oh, well, let's go back to some of my sketches, my old material, and let's do a snow scene. So I'm back up in North Wales, up in the Snowdon area. And as I've said before, with the snow scene, got to get a bit of the darks in the sky for the snow to register. But having said that, you still need a little bit of warmth in the sky. And so I introduce some warm colours here a bit now. And I once read many years ago, I think, your darks have got to be mysteriously dark and your lights heavenly light. So there we go. So but yes, I'm just creating a little bit of interest really, and I think that's about it. Yeah, with the fingers you can always soften in, and I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of light blue in that sky. So I'm going to use what's called a brilliant blue or an intense blue, and it's got that lighter sort of colour and a little bit gentler than ultramarine, and only for that little area, but that's all. And I think, to be honest, I'm going to leave the sky at that for now, and we can always work into it later. That's the beautiful thing of gouache, you can always come on again. So what I want at this stage is get the sort of cast shadow areas in, which always is the fun part. So I tend to use ultramarine blue and a little bit of sort of crimson, and that gives a nice sort of blue for the shadows. So let's go for it then. And what we're going to have, we'll have this area in shadow there that we want. So on the dark side, so again, let's just lighten that in a little bit, and let's get a bit more white onto the palette. Really, I should squeeze more out than I need. And let's go for it now then. Get that right there. There we go. There we go. So let's try this now then. I'm trying to avoid touching the camera. The camera's in front of me, so I have to sort of work around it, which is a bit of a job at times. So that part's going to be in shadow down there. And it'll come up there a bit as well. And it's always good to stroke with the terrain. The way the terrain is going, always good to go that way if you can. And then this bottom piece here will be in shadow as well. So I'm working in sort of blocks really, big areas, just leaving the white, and that's where. When you do a snow scene, it's so, well, how can I say, you can cover big areas because you want the white to stand out. So it's more about big shapes, really. And that's all we want for now. Right, here's the fun part now, is getting the actual snow in. And you're working in a couple of stages, really, where you get once the sky is done, you get the shadow areas, and then from that, then you work on the areas where the snow is going to go, and take that up there, and we'll take that around there. So I'm not being too particular, really. You see, when I paint like this, I'm just looking for the big shapes. I'm not wanting to spend too much time on detail at this stage, because I can come into that with a finer brush. So this is just the snow that's catching on the very top here. And there we go. And then I got this ridge line to, I got to keep it varied. That's the point. You want to keep it, and it's always that bit interesting. Get a flat area like this, and then you can work. There we are. So you get those sort of, it's going to be that much nearer, so you want it to come that little bit sharper. And then again, I'm going to go with the terrain here now. Now I've got this actually on here. I'll just brush it down there quietly. So it's almost going to nothing. And what I want is just a tip, just suggestion of that carrying on there. But I don't want to go to the very end because it would be a bit too uniform then and it would break the foreground up too much. I think that's just enough there for now. And so now let's get the crags in now. So I'm going to use some light red with ultramarine blue and keep to the light red, and let's see how we get on here now. So let's start on this part here. And already you can see the that jumping out there now. So it's just suggesting here and there, rather than working on an area too much, I'm moving around the canvas a bit. And then I can always come back. Now, I think I could do with warming that up a bit, which means some more red to it than the blue. And let's see how that comes off here. Yeah, that's better. I prefer that. And then get these coming down here. And again, you can see all the time I'm finding the way of the terrain and the way that is coming down. And coming up here. And I'm just scumbling the brush at this point, so I'm just rubbing along its side, and so I'm covering more of an area. And again, I'll be coming into this in a lot more detail, but you can see the effect of that. Right, let's have a look over here now. So this is going to just turn around there, so I get the sense of the back of this mountain going down that way. And then we'll get the crags on the end. Again, you don't want to do all of it, you want to leave gaps. If you overdo it, you lose the effect. But you can see that's, painting is fun. People often take it far, far too seriously. I often say, as long as you're enjoying it and you're getting pleasure out of it, and that's what it's all about, really. So people get far too uptight. You've got to relax a bit and just. It's only a piece of paper at the end of the day. And I can always turn it around. Don't worry about wasting paper. A lot of my paintings that I've sold, I've got paintings on the back, rather than use a fresh piece of paper. I've used an old painting, turned it around, and so you can always do that with watercolor or gouache, or All right, let's have a look here now. So I want to get these coming down that way. We're nearly done, really, at this stage. The finished painting, you'll see how I've gone over all of this and made a little bit more depth to it. But I think for now, you've seen enough, really, to see what I'm doing. I'm just scumbling that in a bit, so it's not all too much the same. And there we go. But I think at this stage that's enough for you to have an idea where I'm going with all of this. So there we go.